Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Gold Silver Report for Monday the 5th of July. Now, I don't want to spoil a good party because gold's moving up, as you know, but we should still be a little bit mindful of bigger patterns that are occurring here. So we could look at wave B here with an A wave, a B wave and a C wave for wave C, and then a D and then an E wave here. Probably not the case, but I don't think that we should just wipe it out just yet. So we'll just keep an eye on this rally here for this. Otherwise, the primary count we've been looking at is this one here, where we have wave 4 already in place, and we're looking at this as wave 1 with an A and a B and a C wave here, and we're just working this off the low here. So it's playing out pretty nicely as expected. So the next step here, of course, now that we're moving up off the low here, is the 1800. So we want the 1800 as a tested resistance. We've got to be a little bit careful though, because over here, if we look, we could see that it came up and hit it, came back here, and then really pushed up through here and then came back and tested it. So our entry really in classic trading level terms is up here, which is a long way away from this particular point where we want to be at this moment. So we've got a few positions in at the moment, but we'll just be cautious. It hasn't got a long momentum run up here. It's only short so far, so it should be okay. We should be able to get something like this. You see how we got this first little impulse wave up here with a corrective move and coming in here. That's kind of what we want to do here on the 1800 here, but we still need to get the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then some type of correction here that we could probably pick up on the top over here for that. We do have a position in here already for this, and the same with silver. But the idea generally is just really to build a position under the 18 and then on top of the 18 as well. We'll have to you can be a bit mindful too of just taking the top here and bringing this down to the low here. So the 38, the 50, the 61, the 7, they'll all come into play, okay? So just if you're looking for things, then resistance, then do that, but otherwise we'll work the levels up. So even when we get to the 1800 here, what we're really looking for later on, of course, when we get above the 18, we're trying to figure out what type of structure that we've got here. Still a little bit open at the moment, so we need to monitor that. But the 18 as support would be very nice, because if it's going to fail, this is where it's going to fail from. It could try to find support on top, but fail to get support and then move down from that point. So it is really a line in the sand. The other little price point here is group 1, so that's 1810, 1820 and 1830. So gaining support on 1830, obviously that's really quite high at that point, but that might meet one of the other Fibbo numbers, but we really want that as the support. That gaining support will take our eyes off the 1800 and start to look at the 1850 at that point. So just drilling in here off the current low here, this is so we've called the low in and we've just been watching it move to the upside. It looks like a little bit of an impulse wave, doesn't it, in terms of 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 here and 5 up here, but I've got that counted a little bit differently. It looks like it's has already reacted from the 18 or close to it, probably group 2 within that. Subgroup 2, this is minor group 2 here, so sub-level would be 1780, 1772 and 1765 in here, which is a lot, well, somewhere in there. So yeah, so we don't need that one just there. So yeah, but anyway, it's looking quite good, isn't it? Everybody's pretty feeling pretty happy about that little rally. But like I said, we need to get on top of the 18, which it looks like it would like to do. So let's just cruise in here a little bit further with all of this. So we talked about groups. So here we got 1750. We might as well just pop these in here. 1750. Then we've got the lower end of group 2, which is 65. And then we've got 72 in here. So in this case, it's 1772. So it's important this can become the support now, you know, which is good. See, it looks here that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I've counted this, but I've counted this as 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, the third wave to that point, and the fourth wave across here. So really, I've got this up as wave 1 here. So we can put it in. What degree of structure it is, I'm not quite sure. I might have to take it down 1 degree of structure at this point, but and I'll probably have to change that, but that's sort of how I've got it so far. And then I would need to look at this here as wave 1 here. Oops, a daisy. Wave Monday morning, getting things to work. Fingers, brains, thoughts. So yeah, I was kind of looking at like this here, which probably is wrong. You could probably look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, as I mentioned before. So if that's the case and we're long at the moment, what we need to do just to be sure, and to be safe and all the rest of it, we need to keep our stop out of the way. So that brings us back down into group 2 here. So the 50-60% retracement level comes in around here. So if we just copy that for a moment and bring that down and just keep it out of the way for the wee while. Now the market is going to vibrate. You know, it's not going to like that 1800 there. We can see that already because it just got sort of sold off here sharply. But it's, you know, having a crack at it again, which is good. So I'll give a bit more consideration to the count. One of the things that was looking for last time was really a tested support on 1780. And we could see that we've got that, even though it looks a bit dodgy. So we've got the arrival here, the reaction here, and we've got this move up here as the first high above the level, and then it's retested here. It may retest back down here further as well. I'm not sure about that, but we should see it build up from that point anyway, so keeping the stop out of the way. And we'll look to add to the position on top of 1800 again here as well. I'll just go to the tick chart on this so we can have a so yeah, so we just counted down through here from wave 4 here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then I looked at this as wave 1 here and 2 here. Now I don't know if this is the right count, but I'm just including all the waves. So we counted 1 and 2 here. Then we counted 5 waves up here for the third and fourth. Then we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third here. A and a B and a C for the fourth. So it kind of makes a nice one here. Yeah, so that's all good. We're talking about these little moves here, so we could probably count 5 waves up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as we did obviously, and we look for a pullback here into the box, which we got. So we're kind of on track here with this. It's looking all pretty good at this point. We'll just leave that there. It tells me I'm above that 61.8%, saves me sort of checking it again. Leave that there. It tells me where I am a little bit. So look, it's not the best 5 waves up here as such, but we had that sharp pullback. So I don't know if this is going to be the A wave, the B wave and the C wave back here, or we're just going to go straight up from there. That I don't know. But even if I took it from, you know, before I looked at all of that in the bigger picture, but now to get that sort of stop loss in play down there. But in this one here, we can just take this one, if we were doing it correctly, and it's hit the 61.8% here anyway. So yeah, so it's a good chance it's not going to come back in that space. So I'll just clear that. I'll just put that along there so we know where we are with that. We've got this stop here that's closer for folks. But I just want to copy that and bring it down here for this too, for the longer term trader that doesn't need to be as close to the market. So if you've got leverage, that's kind of where you need to be. If you don't have leverage, you can be down here somewhere. Yeah, so look, hopefully it'll be easy, but normally we could expect, you know, vibrations across this level here in some way or another. So be prepared for that, you know. It could probably even come down lower, but it'll be something, I mean, I'm just doing it wildly here, which is kind of useless, but it does give you the idea that, well, let's just sharpen this up a little bit, shall we then? So the first thing that we can do is look for 1830 up there, then 1820 and 1810, all great years, I'm sure. Glad I wasn't there. So that's, and group 2 below here is really where we, so that's the swing, that's the basic swing range here. So if you're going to get to higher ground, you have to accommodate that type of range there. So if you're not prepared to do that, then you need to exit some of your positions to lighten the load up a little bit. Look, it may just be really smooth and nicely, and we could just sort of push up here, and we've already done our work at 18 and all the rest of it, so we may just end up with something like this, you know, pushing higher through here. That would all be nice, but just be mindful that we can swing in this range and even a bit lower here as well, so we might have to adjust the stop. So we've adjusted the stop before when we're confident in this trend moving up and we don't want to get kicked out, so I will do that if necessary, but yeah, just be mindful of that, that's all. And silver, okay, I'll just do silver from here. So look, the same thing again, we'll call in the low in for silver, and we talked about being long in this. I could count this up in different ways. It's still a little bit shaky at the moment. I'll just go to the hourly chart and the tick chart where we were. So yeah, we called this down for low of wave 2. We had this trade here. Last time we spoke, we were looking for this little trade in here, which was just on the tick chart. It was just getting really close to the market, but sometimes you can get away with it. Yeah, so we're in here somewhere, weren't we? That's right. So I think we had a trade sitting over here too. Sorry about that. But yeah, on Friday we counted down here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or an ABC pattern, and we decided to go long just here and keep the stop really quite close under this low here, based on this little move up through here. So that sort of paid off quite nicely, I guess. Yes, it did. I'm just looking at the structure here, how to count this. So we could look at this as 1 and 2 here, then probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, fourth wave, and then I'm not sure about that. That's corrective. This is still impulsing higher here. So I don't really know. I just need to spend a time on that to mull it over. But what we can do is we can understand our next levels. So this level here is important, 2,650. And then we've got 72 here, and then 80 here. So this is all of minor group 2 in here. So that's the outskirts. This gaining support here doesn't seem very significant, but it is. And of course, 27 is important. I normally find 27 important and 26 important, but it's 26.50 that becomes the balance line for lining up any trades, getting that right. And there's lots of numbers in, you know, when I do group 2 of 65, 72 and 80, there's lots of other important numbers in here. I just never really get to them because, you know, we're normally using sub-levels in indices, but using them sub-levels at this price here really sort of opens it up to a lot more. So 27 is important, 10, 20 and 30 is important in here, 50 and 80 is important in here, and the same from 26 to 27 here. 1, 2 and 3 is group 1, 50 the midpoint where we're starting minor level group 2. The 80 is important here, and the 27 is important. So there's a lot of important numbers in here. I just put the shell of it in there. Yeah, so, but anyway, whichever way we count this, we could count it 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 moving up here. We could do that. I think it's more of a building process in 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 to the upside, but we'll mull that over and we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, all looking good. Where do we add next to this? That's the question. Well, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then we're going to have a correction over here for that. We would have something checking that and going off again in that point. So what we can do is just look at the 50-60% retracement level, take it from where it is at the moment. So either way we look at everything, we have to leave the stop out of the way. So the stop really needs to be under the 26 here. So once you can grasp that and work with that, then it doesn't really matter where you sort of add to, because we're looking for higher ground anyway. And it looks like it wants to move off quite nicely here now, doesn't it? You know, it's not like it's struggling. So yeah, I mean, it makes a nice 1 and 2 at this particular point. So I'll go back over this and check this, but we're still moving higher. We could also look for a classic trading levels pattern sitting here. So you can see that this is the resistance here so far. So what we could look for is just the first high above the level, and there might be a second one and so on. And we don't know how far. It may pull back to here and move off, or it may pull back into here. We don't know that just yet. But the important point here is that top, once it comes into play, wherever it may be, and the second top here, that's where you can go long from, okay, just in case that moves off there, because what that's doing is it's telling you that that number there is support, and I'm telling you that that number is super important because it's part of group 2, the 65, 72 and 80 here, and getting support here is really quite special, because if it doesn't get support here, then it's still part of this number here, and if it's part of this number here, then it can pull back further than that. So that number 2650 is critical, put it that way. All right, we should have a look at GDX as well while we're here. Let me just find that. Should be under metals, GDX. Okay, so yeah, look, it's a bit like gold. It's making its little effort to the upside there with that, isn't it? You know, so that's all good. And it would be an A wave here. We could just about put that in here now. We'll have a look at the intraday count as well. We'll pull that apart a little bit, but this would be just for your interest, and then that would make that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. It's still a bit of a long shot calling this wave too low here, and you know, I may seem right at this particular point, but anything can happen, so just be careful about that. Let's just go to the 5-minute chart and just check on things a bit. Well, apart from this one here, which looks like it's in 3 waves, apart from that, we've got this one here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got this impulse wave here. We've also got this here. This would be 1 and 2 here. This would be a nice 3rd wave here, but I wouldn't put that in as a top, but just 1 and 2 and 3 here, and coming back for 4 and going up for 5 here. So there's still work to be done here just yet. It does appear that this first move is corrective. So that's a little bit haunting, to tell you the truth. Like I said, you can be long from this point. We're still 1 wave short down through here, but we'll just have to look at this in terms of an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to this point. In terms of being a safe trade to the upside here, if we go back to our daily chart just for a moment. Let's open this up a little bit. We could pull all this down a bit further. Okay, you can see that. Just some of the things here. I think one of the good things we could do here is just take the top, bring that down to the low here. And, oops, daisy, I didn't mean to lose that. Okay, so all of these levels here, they'll all play a part here. So coming back up to the 23.6 area here, which we can gravitate over to 34.90. So we can say that, I mean, 34 is important because, I mean, I've mentioned that before. It's just part of this Fibonacci sequence of 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, and so on. But the 35, in terms of trading levels, we're getting a bounce off the 33 roughly. And the 35 is really the level that we're going to be looking at here. So we need to clone that level. Need to put 35 in. We got 38. With 38 we can look at group 2 in here. I mean, the 72 in group 2 is really kind of the halfway mark between 5 and 8, give or take 5 points. I'll leave that there. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on these levels because I can see they're all going to play out here. So as a long trade, my point was that as a long trade, or first of all, the first thing that we're up against is that we could move to here, right, and then collapse from that point, have another leg down. And the reason for that would be not looking at this as an A wave here and a B wave and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, but also looking at this as 1 and 2 here. And all of this is a third wave and a fourth wave coming back to, well, somewhere in this wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and then moving down at that point. So that's possible as well. So there's the money's in the turn, but so is the risk, unless you really get in there and sort of nail it down a little bit. So we could leave the stop under this second low here. See that second bar here? We can put the low under that. We can put the stop under that if you wanted to. That would be fair enough there. Just so we can see it. So that's where our stop's going to go. That's just in case you're long at the moment with this. And we'll do our best to manage that to the upside there. But yeah, I mean, after, at least from this top here, after getting 5 waves here, we should get some rally to this, you know, to the, at least to the wave. I know we would normally look to the 38.2, but this is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So this is really where it's at this point. So we'll see how that plays out there. Can this be anything else? No, it's either wave 2 or we'll be coming down further for this. I don't think we can look at all of this as the A wave and then the B wave and the C wave here for 2 reasons. The time that it's spent in wave 2 already, and secondly, the distance that it's pulled down to already as well. So it's kind of at its breaking point at this point. So I don't think that we'd see it come up to the 61.8% and then come back down here for somewhere in here, for instance, and then move up. Possible. I don't think that's the case. Just looking around here for these sorts of things. Yeah, the only other way I can see this counting is if this whole move up here is corrective. And the only weakness with this, by the way, or 2 weaknesses. First of all, wave 4 overlaps wave 1 here. And the other weakness is that, can we really get 5 waves out of this third wave here? So that's a bit of an exercise for some folks if they want to have a look at that. Because it's a bit of a struggle, to tell the truth. It's more like this is all the A wave to here, as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to here is the A wave, a B wave and a C wave up here. So yeah, we're far from out of the woods in a bullish move at this stage, but we'll just continue to work it off the low. Alrighty, sorry for wasting time. Cheers.